Coming up, it's our 100th episode of SoFlo Health, and we're bringing it to you pre-recorded and from quarantine. Morgan shows us how to use a towel to stretch, and Dr. Claudia Caprio keeps us from touching our face. Plus, we look back at some oldies that are still goodies to keep you healthy at home. From the air you breathe to the water you drink, the coffee you brew, and the teeth you brush. Stay home and stay watching all of that and more today on SoFlo Health. Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, that was my dog, and we're bringing you another episode of SoFlo Health in quarantine. Originally, we were going to celebrate our 100th episode of SoFlo Health, but COVID-19 had some other ideas. Nonetheless, we looked back at those 100 episodes, and it turns out that there's a lot of great information that's still useful today, so we're going to share some with you. Now, one of the things that you can make use of during this time of quarantine is improving your flexibility. They don't call it the fountain of youth for nothing, so let's get started with Morgan Shapiro. We're outside in my neighborhood in Weston, but this is something that you can do at home. Morgan's got a treat for us today. Morgan, what are we doing?
So we are doing a few stretches using a towel. Really helps visualization and getting that extension that a lot of us don't have on our own. So we're gonna start off with the towel in front of you the long way.
Take a second, press pause, get a towel. You got it? Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Arms out in front of you, towel the long way.
Okay.
Now you're simply gonna go back, pulling those arms as far as you can. You may not be able to go all the way down, that's fine. And right back forward. As you go slow, you can feel a nice stretch in that chest. Where are you feeling this, Hunter?
Everywhere.
Everywhere, okay.
So particularly, I have some shoulder tightness.
Okay.
And I feel it shifting in my right shoulder, but it feels good, it's relieving.
Now from here, you're gonna keep the towel there, up above your head. Now you're gonna go up and over, stretching out the whole backside. Now a lot of people have tightness in the lower back. This is really gonna help alleviate that, but I want you to be mindful to not crunch it. Think up and over and spreading that towel apart. Now we have one more for the upper body. Are you ready?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so one here, one here. Now slowly you're gonna go up and down. Good, up and down. I can see your shoulders are pulled back. Looking good, and as you do this more, you can slowly bring your hands closer and closer together, and over time, you will get that range of motion. Good, all right, so now we did the upper body. We don't want to neglect the lower body.
That feels very good.
Right? Feel open. So what do you say we go down and I show you two more?
Let's do it.
All right, I know you and most people at home probably are experiencing some tightness in the hamstrings right now, and along the IT band, which runs all the way up the side. So we're gonna do two, stretching that out using the towel as well. So I want you to lay down on your back.
Okay.
Hook that towel over your foot, extend that other leg flat. Now flex that foot that's up in the air, and now you're gonna pull that towel towards you, trying to keep that leg straight. Now this is something you wanna be mindful not to overdo. Do it slowly. With each breath, you can pull it a little bit closer to you, slowly allowing that hamstring to stretch. Okay, now you're gonna put your other hand out to your side, and now you're gonna go over and cross your body. Same thing, keeping that foot flexed. So now you should feel it all along the side, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's stretching the IT band, guys. So now you hold that a few seconds. Good, now let's come back to center and make sure we even it out, switch both sides. This is particularly important for people who are running right now, which I know a lot of people have taken up running because the gyms are closed, that you have tendency to have tight hamstrings and tight IT bands. So this is really, really important to stretch out, because a tight IT band could lead to your glutes not firing the right way, which could then lead to back issues when you're running, and it all starts here, guys. Good, and coming up. And you can do a few rounds of that. I would say you don't want to hold it more than like 30 seconds, but again, like with all these stretches, listen to yourself.
Yes, yeah, and it's something that there's a difference between the threshold of pain and the threshold of a nice stretch.
Right, exactly. A little discomfort's fine.
Those little oohs and ahs that you heard along the way weren't me in pain. It was just finding a really good stretch. And that's the difference between finding the stretch and feeling pain. You shouldn't be in pain, but you should definitely feel firing of that good stretch. And all you need is a towel and a little space. So Morgan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now with all of the extra time at home and trying to figure out what to do with all of that extra toilet paper, you might find yourself brewing more coffee than usual. Fortunately, we spoke with Monica of Essence Nutrition some time ago about how to drink coffee the healthy way. Monica, we have some delicious coffee in front of us here. Thank you so much for having us in your home.
Welcome.
Coffee, it gets a lot of bad stigma. Why do you think that is, and is coffee bad for us?
So everyone comes in our office and says, you're gonna take away my coffee. And I think to myself, not unless I want you to become violent with me. Coffee is actually, well, what is coffee? Let me ask you.
All I know is it's coffee beans.
It is a bean, so it is a plant. Okay, so coffee's a plant. It's kind of like a vegetable, basically.
Right.
So coffee has unique, what are called phytochemicals, plant chemicals, which have things like antioxidants and vitamins and minerals. And we know that it's also neuroprotective. It can protect your head, your brain, maybe a little cardioprotective, protect your heart. Problem is that we see people adulterating their coffee.
What is adulterating coffee to you?
I think adulterating coffee is putting what I call alien things in there. Little creamers that don't have to be refrigerated. That's not cream. If you wanted to put real cream in your coffee, that would be one thing, or some organic grass-fed whole milk, not skim milk. People load it up with sugars and syrups and flavors, and they get real jazzed about pumpkin spice, but that to me is code for sugar and chemicals and flavors. So if we just kept it simple and added a little cream or a little grass-fed milk, maybe some cinnamon, which can help metabolize blood sugar a little, go on with your day.
When somebody comes to Essence Nutrition and they come to you for the first time and they say, I'm a coffee drinker, you're not gonna take away my coffee, are you? How do you respond?
Well, I'd like to know how much coffee at what times of the day. Is it to basically keep you on life support throughout the day, or is it something you genuinely enjoy? Can we get you back to an amount that also makes room for water, that also accommodates sleep and exercise and movement? Kind of a compromise and a negotiation conversation when it comes to coffee and caffeine.
And if somebody either wants to cut down on the amount of coffee or maybe remove coffee and replace it with something else, what are the things that you would suggest?
You can replace it with tea. Some teas are very actually high in caffeine. Also, black teas have the most caffeine, and then there's matcha, which is very concentrated. And above all else, please drink a lot of water. So we always say double fist. If you're gonna have a cup of coffee, have a cup of water, because there is a mild diuretic effect to coffee.
So you don't count the coffee you consume as part of your daily fluid intake?
You do. You actually do. But don't think, I'm getting so many ounces of fluid because I only drink coffee. Water is the gold standard. Water will hydrate you, but you do get to count it towards your fluid goals.
If you can take it, I guess the best way to drink coffee is black.
Yeah, I can't, but you all go on.
If you're gonna use it, use the real deal, don't skimp on it.
And if you're lactose intolerant, there's lactose-free grass-fed whole milk. There are plant-based nut milks available. We actually don't prefer those. They're very low in protein, and the calcium and vitamin D in them is not as absorbable, bioavailable by your body, but some people require that. You always wanna read the labels on those to make sure it's unsweetened, there's no added sugars, and that what's in them is not a bunch of lecithins and fillers and emulsifiers, like what is in there. So trust me, if you've ever had homemade like almond milk, it tastes a lot different than the store-bought version. So
the mantra of just having real whole foods as close to the natural state as possible carries over to coffee as well.
Nailed it.
Great. Well, Monica, thank you so much for having us in your home, and cheers.
Salud.
When SoFlo Health returns, Dr. Claudia Caprio teaches us how to stop touching our faces, and have you seen your AC filter lately? Plus, nutritionist Kelly Doris talks about the importance of hydration.
Focusing on you. Innovations in modern medicine from your team of experts at UHealth, the University of Miami Health System.
¿Tú me oyes?
UHealth is one of just a handful of institutions in the country with an auditory brainstem implant program, helping the once deaf hear again. Electronic signals create sounds for people without auditory nerve function.
For many deaf patients, we can use a device called a cochlear implant, but these patients with NF2 don't have a functioning hearing nerve.
UHealth doctors performed the first auditory brainstem transplant in Florida at Jackson Memorial Hospital. The implant places electrodes on the brainstem, converting sounds to electric signals.
Once we have that in, then I have my team of audiologists and electrophysiologists that then stimulate each electrode one by one to see which ones would work.
The team's audiologists communicated with the patient in Spanish. They obtained hearing responses on a majority of the device's 21 contact electrodes. electrodes.
You could just see her face and the emotion that she felt when she was able to, hear something for the first time.
10 specialists under one roof that intersect over the disease of a given patient. This is personalized medicine at its best.
Here's a SoFlo health reminder. Keep washing your hands. 20 seconds with soap and water is the best way to clean those hands. Now back to the show. You know, I was thinking, oh, there I go again, touching my face. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and one of the ways that COVID-19, other viruses, bacteria, and pathogens we don't want get into our system is through our eyes, nose, and mouth because we touch our face on an average of 23 times per hour per day, according to a University of New South Wales study. And we don't want that, especially right now. Fortunately, there's a way to head that off, so let's talk to Dr. Claudia Caprio about the psychology of touching your face. Almost did it again. We are at CMC Therapy with Dr. Claudia Caprio at a distance that is socially appropriate, and we're going to talk about another subject matter when it comes to the coronavirus, and that is touching your face. This is especially important to me and to my mother because she's the one that said, hey, you touch your face a lot, maybe we should talk about it. So here we are with the professional. Claudia, why do I touch my face?
Oh gosh, at this point, habitual, right? So most of the time it's habitual, and every once in a while there's a feeling behind it. So I think that's the most important thing, is to find out why you're touching your face.
Right. I think for me, I'm touching my face most of the time because it's expressive to me. I want to think about something, or I just, I don't know, it's just a habit of mine to, use every tool of communication, and that is largely my face, and I'm a hands talker, so it kind of meets sometimes. And then other times I'm just at the computer or something like that, and I'm resting on it. Almost did it there. So how do people break a habit like that that's so ingrained?
Listen, most of the time we're always going to touch our face, so it's going to be important to be mindful of it. But in an effort to be mindful, I would really encourage everyone to use a self-monitoring kind of tactic, right?
Okay.
So you can be a time tracker on your phone, it could be a golf tracker, it could be just even a pen and paper. And if you track how many times you do it, the awareness of it goes up, and the amount of times you do it will decrease.
Right. It's the act of becoming self-aware of your behaviors.
Exactly.
Can people have a behavior that's connected to being nervous or feeling a certain emotion?
Most definitely. So the face gives off little neurons, right? So tingles or moments of discomfort, and we get that automatic relief when we touch our face. But if we just are mindful of it, then most likely within a minute span, that discomfort, that tingle will be gone.
What other behaviors could people replace the face touching with?
Even just being mindful of it, I think, again,
Right.
in saying, okay, I'm anxious right now, what do I need? Instead of trying to just, do a physiological relief, find out what's going on mentally with you right now. Number one thing is keeping your hands clean, so that way we're decreasing the possibility of spreading those germs, which we're trying to do in the first place.
Well, Claudia, thank you so much. I hope this was helpful to you. It was helpful to me. And Mom, if you're listening, here I am, not touching my face. Instead, I'll keep my hands clean. If you're like most people doing your part, you've been doing a lot of staying indoors. And that's great because we spent a lot of time telling you how to keep yourself healthy. But what about your home? Specifically, the air you breathe. Way back in 2018, we talked about the importance of keeping your air filters clean because you breathe that air. Have you ever been minding your own business in your house and you just feel a little extra stuffed up, or like the air isn't as clean as it once was? That's because it might not be. You might have to change your air filters. So let's go check on ours. Notice any difference? I mean, if this isn't enough reason to change your air filter, I don't know what is. Now, I can show you another one that we have here. This is what it should look like when you're changing. Maybe a little bit dirtier than this one, but that's about the extent you should let it get. And then of course, this is what a clean air filter looks like. So you tell me if you can see the difference. Now, reasons why it's important to change your air filter, besides the fact that this is just gross, is it's not good for your health. In fact, if you have allergies, a filter like this will not filter out those pollens, dander, and other things that will make your allergies act up. It's also not good for the health of your pocketbook because it can increase your energy costs and nobody wants to spend more money unnecessarily. If that's not enough additional cost, an air filter like this one will make your system work harder, and when your system's working harder, it's more likely to malfunction, and that can be into thousands of dollars in damage. Please remember that changing an air filter is not the same thing as cleaning an air filter. You should not clean one of these with soap and water. It might seem like a good idea and you could save some money that way, but actually you could increase your risk for mold, and that's also not healthy. Now, let me show you how to change it. This may be one of the easiest ways to keep yourself healthy. Take your new filter, the metal side up here, and we're gonna slide it right into its place. And that's it. I'm glad we changed the air filters, but remember to just come outside and get some real fresh air. That's the stuff. The importance of hydration and what to do if you have a pink toothbrush when SoFlo Health returns. Are you watching from home? Great. Stay there. It's the best way you can make sure you don't get sick or get others sick. Now back to some SoFlo Health. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and this is our 100th episode. That was my pet squirrel, of course. And COVID-19 is a serious pandemic that has us staying home and staying safe. But fortunately, all of this extra time is an opportunity to be able to build some new good habits. So let's go back all the way to episode 11 from July 2018 when we met with Kelly Doris to talk about the importance of hydration. I'm here with dietitian Kelly, and we've got a bunch of beverages in front of us. What are we talking about?
We are talking about how to stay hydrated and really what you need to do to be hydrated. Yeah, I mean, we're in South Florida, so it's hot. It's important. Yeah, most people don't really know how much they should be drinking
Well, you
every
hear
day.
8 glasses a day. Is that true?
That is actually a myth. So, yeah. So, yeah, nobody really knows where it originated from.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's really no scientific basis for it. There's a way better method to determining how much fluid you need every day. And it's really easy math. So take your weight in pounds and divide that by 2. That's how many ounces you need to drink every day. So let's say you weigh 160 pounds.
Wow, 150. Yes. Yep.
Okay, 75 ounces every day.
Okay, so that's a little more than half a gallon.
So yeah, and that's one thing people may not know how much is that. So 1 cup of water has about 8 ounces of fluid in it. So you're gonna need about 9 to 10 cups of water.
Cool, okay, so what are some ways that people can stay hydrated other than the obvious, which is just drinking more water?
First off, the food that you eat actually can contribute to your fluid intake. So fruits and vegetables, some dairy products, they have a high water content. So if you're getting your fruit and your veggie intake, you're probably getting about 20% of your fluid needs right there. Of course, drink water, but that can get kind of boring. So we've got some ideas about how to jazz that up, okay? So easy way to do it is to add any kind of, fruit and vegetable slices. My absolute favorite are cucumbers and orange slices. And you can even do, some bottled or canned beverages as well. So sparkling ice or LaCroix, they both are calorie-free and flavorful, and they have the bubbles. So if you like soda, it's a really good alternative to actually like juices, milk, that can actually count towards your fluid intake as well. But again, water is best.
We hope you're doing your part to stay home and stay safe, and hopefully that helps flatten the curve of COVID-19. But we do know that one of the only reasons that you should leave your house at all is to see a medical professional. In fact, if you've been brushing your teeth lately and you noticed bleeding gums, you might want to see Dr. McCauley. Today we're at McCauley Periodontics, and this is Mark McCauley, periodontist. Now tell me, what is a periodontist?
I went to a lot more schooling to actually end up treating gum disease, doing dental implants, and also what's called periodontal plastic surgery, which is basically getting your smile looking great as far as the gum line and making everything look nice for you.
Right, so let's talk about gum disease. Let's start with that. What is gum disease and how many people have it? How would you know that you have it?
What periodontal disease is it's a bacterial and parasitic infection inside your gums.
Okay.
And once it gets into your gums, it makes a home. Back in 1990, this office got involved in using a laser. That light energy will actually go down to the base of the pocket, and it'll actually kill all that bacteria there.
Now, I'm no doctor, but this looks like it's bacteria of some sort up here.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk to us about what you have up here on the
So
screen?
that guy right there is an amoeba. You can actually get amoeba in your mouth. And those spiral-shaped bacteria, you can see basically hundreds of them. That's just a small little slice of what you can see around your mouth.
And then when somebody comes to see you, how quickly will they know if they have gum disease, and how quickly will they get it treated?
They come in, we do a full examination on all the patients. Right. We take a bacterial sample on all the patients too. If we think there's a chance you've got gum disease, we take a slide. So we've got a phase contrast microscope which actually is able to project this immediately.
Is there a way you could show us something like this?
Of course, yeah. Meet me by the microscope. Let's do it. Come on.
Doc, what are you looking at in there?
Well, what I'm looking for is periodontal pathogen bacteria and parasites. We actually end up projecting this, and we can show the patients exactly what they have. Those bacteria will get into your gums, and they will actually ulcerate your gums. And then you get the bleeding, which ends up precipitating bone loss and things like that. You end up getting loose teeth, and then you can actually lose your teeth because of it.
Not good.
And it's all because of those little guys.
That's right there. It's kind of scary. This is something that could also affect the rest of your health.
What happens is that bacteria, it gets into your gums. It doesn't stay there though. It actually ends up getting into your bloodstream. Right. It increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, even types of cancer it can increase the risk of.
What are ways that people can prevent themselves from getting gum disease?
Brush and floss regularly, use antiseptics, and in all honesty, get checked. Because once it gets to a certain point, no matter how much you brush and floss, it's not going to take care of it.
And the worst case scenario is that some people can lose their teeth if they let this get out of hand.
If you do have gum disease, our first choice is to try to save your teeth. But when that doesn't happen, if it's gotten too bad, and in places where you've actually lost teeth previously, we are able to replace them.
Dr. McCauley, thank you so much for your time. The next time we see you, let's talk about those implants. What do you say?
All right, will do.
Let's do it. A dirty glove is worse than a dirty hand. Use disposable gloves once and then throw them away. Now back to the show. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and normally at this point I would say goodbye and good health. But for now, it's stay home and stay safe. Thank you so much for watching this episode and 100 episodes of SoFlo Health. We are excited to bring you 100 more. Every Sunday at 12:30, we'll see you right here. And thank you so much to our first responders, doctors, nurses, grocery store clerks, and all of the other essential businesses out there making life as normal for us as it can be during this time. We'll see you next week with some more COVID-19 information on how to stay safe. But for now, you can watch previous episodes of SoFlo Health on SoFloHealth.com, YouTube.com/SoFloHealth, and follow us using @SoFloHealth to share with us what you're doing to stay healthy. And I'm going to head inside, hopefully like you are.